Hi, everyone, and welcome. Thanks so much for joining us early in the morning. Nicole, what time is it for you?
It's 6 p.m. right now. Yeah. My day's already coming to an end. It's
Yeah.
already 6 p.m.
So you guys know, I'll tell you right now, I'm returning the favor to Nicole talking to her classroom in the coming weeks, but that time is far less favorable for me. So um
I appreciate it. I appreciate it.
It's so good to have you guys all here. I really appreciate it. I'm so excited to chat with Nicole here, our special guest. I'm going to let her introduce herself, but I am going to tell 1,000 embarrassing stories about her is our
Oh my
big
God.
plan. Nicole is actually previously my high school student. So I taught her physics in 2017, I think. Yeah, holy smokes. And now she's gone off to be so successful, and now I just watch her like Instagram stories and in endless jealousy, and I wish I was her. Um, so I know I'm supposed to be like proud because like your students go on to do great things, but I'm kind of like, thanks for the invite, you know. So Most of you guys have seen me. We've done a couple of sessions together. I work for the Center for Collaborative Education, CCE. I'm really just going to serve today as comedic relief and host for the awesome work that Nicole does. Um, she's out here originally from the Valley in the LA area where I taught her at a charter school called Visa back in the day, but has just gone on to do such amazing work. And I mean, her story is so interesting, especially for anyone thinking about um, going into teaching or early career teaching, the opportunities and kind of pitfalls and challenges of getting credentialed and what that path looks like. So I'm just super excited to kind of hear her story. Um, Nicole, I know you have some slides to share. I'll turn it over for you for some intro. Everyone in the chat, please feel free to just like line up questions, and I'll make sure to feed them to her afterwards. Anything you guys want to ask her as it comes to mind, and I'll make sure it all gets to her as well. So, without further ado, Nicole, take it away.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to get to share with you guys my journey, my story so far. Um, so my name is Nicole. I've recently just graduated from university. I graduated from Cal State Northridge last May 2024. I graduated with a bachelor's in liberal studies um, and a minor in teaching English as a second language. So that's kind of where my journey kind of begins. I did my bachelor's in liberal studies and the minor in TESOL, and I was kind of trying to figure out what I wanted to do because I want to be an elementary school teacher. Um, but with having TESOL like under my belt, that also opened up so many opportunities for different experiences, which have led me to where I'm at right now. So currently I am in Spain. I've been here for about 9 months. Um, what I do here is I am a language assistant. So I get to work with students, secondary school. So I'm gonna share with you guys a presentation about what I do. Feel like an old person trying to figure this out right now. Alrighty. Alrighty. Can everyone see my screen?
Just says loading for me.
Oh, okay. Let's see, let's give it a moment. Your screen is paused. Why? I don't, sorry, give me one moment.
This is always also the fun part where my students try to see like what tabs I have opened or bookmarks and stuff like that. So I'm gonna snoop on your screen when it loads.
It says that I'm sharing my screen. I don't know if
I
that.
can see, yeah, the window. Yeah, if you do it like that, that's fine.
Okay, I think I'm just gonna have to do it like this. For
Yeah,
some
yeah.
reason, it doesn't. Okay. Alrighty, sorry about that. So what I'm doing here in Spain, I work for NowCap. So I'm teaching in Spain. I've been here from October to June. So what is NowCap? So NowCap is the North American Language and Cultural Assistant Program. So I've worked with secondary schools in different subjects, and essentially I'm here to help them practice their English. So this program is actually amazing. And considering that I've just graduated, trying to figure out what I want to do for the rest of my life, this was a really nice in between because I'm in my 20s. I've been able to travel to different countries, visit places I never thought I would, because of this program, actually. So I get paid monthly. It's a stipend, and I only work 16 hours a week, 4 days a week. So my responsibilities here include being a cultural ambassador. So I share different things about the United States and Mexico. Because I'm Mexican American, living here has really brought me closer to that relationship. Um, so I'm a conversation assistant. Like I said, I talk to all my students in English, talk to the teachers. I help the teachers further their English, the students as well. And the students' goal is that they take the English Cambridge exams in May. So what we've been doing is we prepare the students for these exams. So different speaking activities, grammar activities, and doing all these kinds of fun stuff. Okay. So, like I said, it's pretty awesome because I only work 16 hours a week. But a day in my life is pretty hectic. So I have a total of 4 different subjects that I work with. So I do music, science, physical education, and English. Um, in all of these classes, pretty much what me and my other language assistants do is we create presentations about whatever topic it is our students are studying. So we have to give these presentations in English and we have to make them um, very engaging because again, our whole purpose is to have the students practice their English and trying to make conversation come natural, a little bit more natural. So speaking activities that we also do include comprehension, so mock exams type of thing for their Cambridge exam, grammar, using proper grammar, both spoken and written. And then we check for fluency and accuracy. Ah, okay, so here I have some examples of what I do in my classes. So my science class that I work with, a few different science classes. I work with biology, physics, and chemistry, which the physics, having Mr. Rodriguez as my physics teacher really came in handy here. I've been able to do these amazing experiments, little labs with these kids. So the ones that I put up here is we were creating a heat shield. We were uh, working with different materials, and the students were able to work in groups. They've been working in the same groups the whole year that I've been here so far, and they work together, they make their lab report, and that was a really fun activity. Next, English. So I have majority English classes. So for instance, something that I did to make these classes engaging is around Halloween time, I did a spooky short story activity. So using different vocabulary revolved around Halloween and whatnot, kids were able to be as creative as they can, be descriptive as they can in their short stories. and then they were able to read them out loud to their classmates. And then, as I said, I'm also a cultural ambassador. That's part of the job. So something that I shared with them was Thanksgiving, because that is an American holiday. They've never celebrated it. They don't care for it. So I was able to share with them what it actually was. Um, I really got into those brain pop videos that explain the history of Thanksgiving, why we celebrate, and then to make it a little fun for them, I did a thankful turkey. So added a little creativity, arts and crafts to it. Working here, I work with secondary, so the school system here is a little different. So they have their elementary school's primary school, and that goes from like K through fifth grade. But instead of having a separate middle school and high school, they put it all together. So secondary school is just a, there's so many different ages in secondary school. So I work with kids who are barely turning 11 to some who are 18. There's a student that we know that's like 21, like crazy. So I have to make sure that these activities are age appropriate for all of them. These are just some of the activities I've done with my students. And then I have some other stuff that I've gained from being out here. So there are many opportunities. Like I said, I've been able to travel, but in Spain where I live in Madrid. So that has been honestly a big plus on my end, because I'm able to visit different museums in Madrid. And because I'm younger than 26 and I work at a school, I get to use like my youth card. So you can visit museums for free, which is awesome. It's easy to visit different parts of Spain from here. You can travel to different countries, learn about other cultures, and making new friends. These are all different opportunities that you have if you were to do NALCAP. Very fun. Ah, okay. So some of the more fun stuff that I've done here is I have had the chance of visiting different parts of Spain and traveling to different countries. So I have some images of Barcelona, Spain. Now I've visited there twice already, once when I got here and once with my family because they just visited me. So that was awesome. Those are images of the Sagrada Familia and the Cathedral of Barcelona. And then I was able to go to Morocco. I went to Tangier. That was awesome. I didn't think I'd ever go to Morocco. It's so far. That was a very different and fun experience. And then I went to Italy. I went to Milan. I had some really good carbonara. Uh, the cathedrals there are stunning. And I made some really good friends here. These are my friends in the picture. So learning about different cultures is something that I put on the opportunities. So I think I got super lucky because the other language assistants that I work with they're not American, they're from other parts of the world. So one of my friends, her name is Trinity, she's from London. So I got to visit London and she was my tour guide and it was awesome. She showed me the ropes. And then my other friend, Emma, she's from Ireland. She's half Irish, half Spanish. So she's also an amazing person that I've met and gotten on with really well. Um, so they've both been amazing people I've met here, and we've done quite a bit of things together, made some great memories. So thank you. That's a little bit about what I've done, my background, and what I'm doing now.
It's so awesome, Nicole. I mean, I'm just like so like I said at the top, I'm so jealous. Like it's just incredible that you just get to travel and see the world in a way that's so much more like immersive, right? Like I love that you get to go see these places, but it's another thing to like live there, to have to learn how to navigate them. And I mean, what an experience for a young person, right? I think it's so cool.
Very different. So I'm so sorry. Living in Spain for like the last few months has been very different considering I'm from the valley, right? You need a car, you drive around places. Everyone has so much pressure, so much urgency to get places. The lifestyle here is so different. I'm a professional at taking public transportation now. Never in
What's
my life did I think a
that?
girl from LA would be taking the metro. crazy, but it's been awesome.
Well, I have a million questions for you, but again, to the audience, yeah, please chat out your questions. I'll make sure to prioritize those. While you guys are typing and thinking about what you guys want to ask, just a couple of things about the basics of the program there. Is it only in Spain or only in Europe, or is it international? Like, if someone wanted to apply for it, could they go anywhere in the world?
So from my knowledge, NowCap is only for Spain. I know there are other programs that do something similar. I think NowCap stands out though, because for a lot of the other programs that are very similar to this, where you get to go and teach abroad, majority of them ask you to pay a fee to do it. This one, they didn't ask you to pay a fee. So most of the time it's like volunteer work to go teach abroad. It's volunteer work and you still have to pay for your spot there. With NowCap, I feel like they prepared me really well to be able to do this. So they have an Instagram and everything, and they're always posting like their different sign up dates and how the program just goes. So like through NowCap, I'm technically employed with the Comunidad de Madrid. So technically I'm working for the community of Madrid
Yeah.
at their school. So from my knowledge, NowCap is just Spain.
Neat. I've seen other ones like Teach Away, and I can't remember. There's another one that's really popular that pay as well, but I think you need to be credentialed first, but you are not. So
I'm
you,
not
you
credentialed.
managed to do this in between, which is like kind of amazing. Like you said, it's cool middle ground before you figured things out. Um, can you talk a little bit about how you decided, like, should you go credential? Should you go see the world for a year? Well, easy pitch, I guess, but
So I feel like throughout my entire journey of doing my undergrad and whatnot, I was consistently thrown curveballs. Um, so let me backtrack a little bit. Originally, I wasn't supposed to go into liberal studies. I wasn't supposed to teach. I started as an environmental science major. Like that's what I wanted to do. Um, Slowly I learned that I actually love working with kids and I wanted to become a teacher. Science is always in the back of my head. So my major in liberal studies, but my concentration is in science. So with that, I was like, okay, I'm gonna teach, and I plan on getting my credential as soon as I graduated through the LAUSD district intern program. However, I fell in love with the school I was working at and I really wanted a position there. But through the DI program and the school I was working at, there was no open positions for when I was gonna be eligible to apply for the program to become a teacher at that school. So I was still researching what I can do with my TESOL minor. And I found NowCap just through research. I was looking at different things, which is why I learned that a lot of these programs charge you to do them. But I think I was on like the Long Beach State website and I found NowCap on their website. And I was like, I don't have a job site like lined up for next year. Like I have the background in this. Take the jump. Why not? I've been thrown a curveball left and right. Let me just jump the gun. And here I am, still figuring out my credential and whatnot. But this was
do
a
you
really fun experience.
yeah, can you tell us a little bit, like do you think is the plan? How long will you stay? What do next steps look like? I mean, I'm sure I know the answer, right? In terms of like, was this a good thing, right? I mean, from a resume side or something like that, but like, yeah, what is next?
So my heart is really in being an elementary school teacher. I am dedicated to that. However, life threw another curveball, and I've signed up for the LAUSD district program. Um, Life threw a curveball. There's no openings in elementary education right now.
Mhm.
So with that, I was given the opportunity to either pursue a single subject credential or do SPED, get a SPED credential. And as soon as I was given the opportunity to do a single subject credential in science, I was like, this is a sign.
Mhm.
This is a sign. I used to want to go into science. I've done some great things with science and teaching in the past. The science courses that I was teaching here in Spain, the biology, physics, and chemistry with the teachers that I was working with, it really brought out that passion for teaching science again. So I was like, it's a sign. I'm going to pursue a single subject credential for now. So when I get back, I plan on coming back in June, and I will start my pre-service for my credential, and hopefully I will be a science teacher in fall.
We did it. I did this. I made you.
Full circle. This is really full circle right
I
here.
planted that seed.
This is not what I was expecting. Before I left, I was like, oh, so single subject, I'd be working with secondary school. Um, Never did I think I
Hmm.
would work with middle school or high school. Like, uh, never did I think my heart is set in working in elementary. And I do plan on getting my multiple subject credential later on, but I'm very determined in getting into the field right away. I honestly have such a passion for teaching and being in that field that the single subject credential in science, it was a sign. I'm gonna do it. I'll figure out the rest as I go.
I don't know how many people in the audience are already teaching, but I hope that you guys have felt the joy of karma of when your student goes into teaching. So all the things that Nikki used to do to me, soon, her students will do to her, and it's payback time. So um, I did have a question about the liberal studies major. This is one that I'm always really interested in because I work with a lot of students at community colleges like Rio Hondo. I know we have some Rio Hondo people here. I teach an ed class, the science requirement for pre-service teachers at Cal Poly Pomona. Um, and CSUN kind of does a similar thing. There's so much push for liberal studies versus education, right, as a major. I'm curious if you have thoughts on that. Like, did a liberal studies major prepare you? Was that the right path versus an ed major? And like what? Why decide one way versus the other?
Honestly, I think it's like you said, CSUN kind of pushes for the liberal studies. I don't think I was introduced to having education as my major, but personally, liberal studies, I think, covered a lot of subject matter. I think what made the liberal studies major benefit me more was the fact that while studying and doing my major, I was working as a TA at Toluca Lake. So I think having both of those things side by side is what really prepared me to be in education.
Yeah, and you mentioned that you had worked at a school a little bit too, before you got out to Spain. Could you just kind of, yeah, walk us
Oh,
through that?
yes.
The little quick career
Yes.
there so people have a sense of snapshot.
Okay, yes. My bad. Yes. So while pursuing my degree, I started TAing at Toluca Lake Elementary. I was in the intervention lab. So I worked with students who were performing below average, students who just needed a little bit extra support in English and math. So I was working in small groups with students ranging from K through fifth grade. Um, and then I also took over, oh, this is what pushed me to get a TESOL minor. I started working with our emergent bilingual groups. We started receiving a lot of students who were not English speakers. Um, so I had the opportunity of working with them, and the longer I worked with them, the more I grew like to love what I was doing. Like I love seeing these kids make progress and just creating a bond with these students. It's such a different type of relationship that you grow make with these kinds with these students. Ugh, I miss them.
Mhm.
You see them grow, and it's awesome. So I had the opportunity of working in both English and math intervention. And I worked with some amazing teachers, and they pushed me heavily on doing TESOL once I brought it up to them. And once I told them about the working in Spain thing, they were like, teaching, you can always come back, get your credential. Like, it's always going to be there. The opportunity will be there. Something like moving to Spain for a year, maybe not always going to be there. Once you start teaching, it's a different kind of organizing of your schedule, whatnot. I'm never gonna have the chance to just walk away for 9 months and experience what I've experienced.
Yeah, it seems, I
So
mean, it seems like such a genius move because I think about now, like I'm in my 40s, I'm so old, Nikki. If I were to try to do this, um, go to whichever program, I'd have to like uproot my life. If I were a full-time teacher, that's a year away from, um, being in CalPERS or CalSTRS or something like this. You don't want that. Um, but like in between getting your credential, right? Like you have youth and time, and like once you start, it's harder to kind of stop and go outside. I mean, really, like timing just seemed to be so fortuitous for you. Um, I mean, I'm just so happy. I think one of the things that seeing your slides makes me really excited too is that yeah, like it's not just the job, it's the cultural side, it's traveling, it's building this like international network of friends and peers and things like that. Um, yeah, I mean it's interesting that you get to visit the world and see that. Was I mean the kind of obvious question from there is, what was that transition like? I mean, you learned a US education school system and then got dropped into secondary where you have kids of all ages really.
that was actually a really crazy transition. Just in general, when I first got here, the culture shock was intense. Especially coming that I'm Mexican American. Coming to Spain was very, very different, not only just like the culture itself, but yeah, like the education system. So that threw me off when I first got here. Because I never thought I'd work with secondary, and then I was put in a secondary school. It's very different. Um, like I said, it's broken up differently. So their primary school is K through fifth, which is pretty normal. But instead of having a middle school and a high school, it's all together. So the way it's broken down actually is they have first ESO, second ESO, third ESO, and fourth ESO, which would be like your sixth, seventh, eighth grade. And then they offer Bachillerato 1 and 2. So it's kind of like the beginning steps of like getting into university. So if you want to get into a university out here, you need to do your Bachillerato 1 and 2, and you will begin to like study a little bit in the field that you want. So like the school that I work at, it's a bilingual school and they offer like social studies, I think, science and art um for bachillerato. So the and physics, I think. So those are some of the things that like you can start studying. And then if you do really well on your exams, you get accepted into universities. Um, it's very different. Actually the dynamic between student and teacher here is also something that coming from elementary where everyone calls you Miss Nicole, Mr. Rodriguez. Here, students address teachers by their first name.
Hmm.
That threw me off when they just started calling me straight up Nicole. I was like, oh, hello. But yes, that's me. Um, it's very different. The dynamic here is very different. Nonetheless, it's something interesting, something different. Yeah.
How do you feel about like the students um like academically there versus here, right? I mean, I know it's different age groups. You taught such young students here in the US. But I mean, are they reading and writing well? Are they interested in science? Like what? Like,
So they are interested in science. So the school focuses on science and technology. So a lot of the students that I work with a lot of the advanced English students, and a lot of these students are in physics, chemistry, and technology. And they are extremely passionate about it. Me and one of the other language assistants work with these courses, and unfortunately, our job is to get them to talk to us. And because they're so invested in their work, they don't want to talk to us. But I do see their drive in the sciences. Um, One thing that I learned and something that the English teacher told me about is that in Spain, when they're learning Spanish language, their language course, they don't do a lot of reading and writing in their courses. So it has been a little bit of a challenge to help them with their English comprehension when it comes to reading and speaking and whatnot, because they don't do it very often in their native language in the first place. So that has been a bit of a challenge that I faced so far.
Yeah. Coming back, what do you think about, are you going to be able to, I mean, clearly, obviously, a much better teacher, right? I mean, the years of practice and the exposure. But yeah, like what are you excited for? What are you nervous for in terms of coming back to a US education system?
I'm excited about I'm just really excited to be in the field again. Like I was in the field here and teaching my students, but I was more of an assistant with the mentor teacher. And I honestly think I'm prepared for my classroom, and I'm really excited to give out the curriculum as well as creating those kinds of relationships with my students, like you and me. Like this is awesome. I can't wait to help my students make a difference in the world. Like, I'm really excited about that.
Maybe the kind of last big question I had for you is when I look at um, not, just again thinking about the difference in of students, what I think all of us as teachers struggle with here, and is kind of two parts. But first, getting students to use academic language, right, in their reading and writing and stuff like this. But also maybe for anyone who's interested in doing this, like for the teacher side, right? Like my Spanish is terrible, Nikki, as you know, but my academic Spanish is abysmal, right? So like, can I teach physics in Spanish? Absolutely not. Um, so, to anyone who might be interested in doing this, how good does your Spanish have to be to get over?
So to do a program like this, you don't need to know Spanish. So my sole purpose, and my students get mad at me because I don't talk to them in Spanish. My job is to talk to them in English, get them to talk to me in English. I've shared that I'm Mexican American with my students, so they assume I know Spanish. But this whole year, I've had to hide the fact that I know Spanish. So they'll try to get away with saying like sneaky stuff. And I'm like, oh, no, I understood, but that's all I'm gonna say. Don't say that. And it throws them off every time. Um, but one of my other language assistants, she's since being here, she's picked up on Spanish. She's been trying to learn it since being here, because she came not knowing Spanish. And um, so really any level would thrive here. It's just you learn as you go.
What about from like a personal side, getting around? Are you going to come back with a Spaniard accent?
Oh gosh. Okay, my family just visited and they made a comment. They were like, you picked up on the accent a little bit when you're talking to like other Spaniards. Like, no, I didn't. But every now and then I'll say gracias. I went to Barcelona. I'll say add a
No, no.
lisp to all of
You're
it.
like that kid who went abroad and comes back now. Oh, it's gonna be.
No, but that was my one thing. I was like, I do not want to come back with the accent. One thing that I'm really like proud of, and something that I think brings me the one of like a lot of joy from being here is that I really connected with my Mexican side.
Hmm.
Weirdly being far away from home made me really appreciate my culture a lot more. I am where loud and proud here, I'm like, yeah, I'm Mexican. And they can tell that I'm Mexican because my accent when I do speak Spanish. But I love it. I'm like, yeah, I'm Mexican. My food is better. Yeah.
That carbonara looked pretty good in Italy, though. That's
Okay, that's true. But Spanish food is it's unique. It's unique. It's good, but it's unique.
um I have just one want to make sure, again, anyone else who has questions for Nikki, please. We have plenty of time, but if you guys are thinking of last ones, I do have to share one thing that I keep on my desk. And I don't think Nikki knows this, so we'll tell an embarrassing story about her. Let me grab it really quick.
Hey, I'm scared. If you guys have any
Um,
questions, oh, sorry, go.
this is a card that Nikki made me in school, and I keep it right here in front of my computer. And so this is, she made this for me. Um, and said, I might be your 12th favorite student, but you're my number one teacher. Ah!
Ugh,
So
yeah.
we used to joke because my students at Visa um, would bicker wildly about class rank, about who was number one and who was number two. And so this joke started about like, guys, like none of this matters. Like you're all the same, right? And we would plot out like all of their intelligence, right? And it was just a mean joke. But Nikki would come in and say like, oh, how am I doing today? Am I up to like 9 or something? I'd be like 15. Um, and
But he
but
still has my card, so I think I'm up there. I think I'm up there
at
now.
least a 6 now, right? I mean, yeah, climbing.
Better than 12. Better than where I was at. Better than where I was at. It's fine.
Um, so
Aw.
this, I mean, yeah, this is the only student card I have actually on my in my office, and it just meant so much to
Okay,
me.
so I feel like that's a sign that I'm number one.
Well, maybe the
Put
other
it
ones
out
don't
there.
make me cards.
Whatever. Whatever.
Um, no, I mean, I'm truly so proud, and it really is just amazing to see, how far you've come, right? It's like weird to again see your journey online and be like, oh, this was little chatty Nikki in physics lab, who's now just like parading around like an Instagram influencer. I'm like,
I know.
holy
All
smokes. You're
those
like running
me
races
being,
now. Like, yeah, you're so
oh
cool.
yeah. Me being chatty in school is the reason I'm here. I want to talk to everyone. I've made so many friends. I'll go out and I'll start talking to people. It's awesome. It is awesome. I still show people pictures all the time. That has not changed. I love showing people pictures.
But yeah, I mean, I really do hope that people hearing, again, just what this opportunity looks like and like what a time to strike, right? Like not to let it just be a what if or a regret or something you could have done. I mean, I really, really think that anyone who's kind of figuring out what they should do, or like if even if if you're like, I'm 100% I want to go teach, great. It'll be there, right? Like go explore while you can. Take the opportunity, because it's harder and harder to do later in life. I think it's such a motivating tale that you've gone and done this. Before we close out, any other questions for Nikki? Anything else that you guys want to ask her? Or you can tell she's great and honest, and she'll give you a cool opinion. Nikki, maybe you could put a link to the program in the chat, just in case
Yeah.
they want to apply. And as you're doing that, I'll say too, I mean, it's so interesting that there's such um, a glut, right? A resistance for you coming back and getting your credential in the primary space, right? When we talk about teacher needs and all this thing, it's such a wild disconnect. Um, I don't know to what degree this is super relevant for the audience here, but like I get phone calls literally every week asking me to teach high school physics. Every single week of school is like, is there any way you can come teach next year? So like their high schools are begging for physics and chemistry. Um, and yet primary is so impacted. And I think that's really interesting. So, you know, job security in teaching high school science, that's for sure.
Yeah, I had a meeting with the LAUSD district intern program. Yes, your time yesterday, 6 p.m., my time, 3 a.m. So I was up at 3 a.m. on this meeting today. Um, and they were telling us about the jobs that were impacted. So they're not offering the program for general ed, multiple subject this year at all. unless you're already contracted as a provisional teacher, or if you already have your credential, they're not taking any external candidates right now. But single subject mathematics, physics, biology, and chemistry are all being offered. Not even English. And I was considering doing English as well. That's not being offered either. So it's very interesting.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, really, really wild time. And it's, you know, again, we have programs like this, like Teach for LA and all the work that CCE does with community college, where we're saying, you know, hey, we want to get people on this teacher pathway. But it's like that's just step one, right? I mean, you have the major, you went to a 4-year university, and it's not like a classroom was just waiting for you, right? So opportunities like this, I think, are what are going to continue to open doors for you. And, you know, imagine now teaching in, you know, South LA or out in the valley where they say, oh, you know, can you teach, you know, bilingual? It's like, and how, right? So what a way to kind of set yourself, you know, apart from the competition in an impacted field. I think that's really great. Oh, Nikki, you're so amazing. I'm so jealous. Um, yeah, it'll be so great to have you back. We'll definitely have to grab coffee when you're here.
Yes, of course, of course. Love coffee.
Um, Well, yeah, I appreciate you so much. Thank you everyone for dialing in. If you have any questions for Nikki that you think about after the fact, or you want to hear about the program she put in the chat or other similar, you know, teach abroad programs, you can reach out to me or CCE, and we'll make sure to get Nikki's perspective on that too. Um, but I hope you kind of find this interesting in terms of, again, the greater world in education when, you know, just how many opportunities there are out there. So yeah, I'll thank you guys all for your time. Nikki, you're the best. I'll let you go get dinner, and I'll see you in a couple
Thank you,
weeks.
thank you. Thank you,
Middle of the
thank
night.
you. I'm actually at a tea party right now.
Oh, look at you.
Yeah.
Classy.
What can I say? I'm learning about the culture in London and the UK and the British and the tea parties. So
Come a long way.
okay. Alrighty. Thank you for having me. Thank you everyone for listening to me. I'm talking.
Take care, everyone. Thanks so much.
Bye.